Hey there, I'm at the Mitchell Mill State Natural Area, which is known for the Rolesville Batholith. Essentially, this whole area is covered with granite, a granite dome, which sits on top. Right now, the water is pretty low, but even still, if you decide to come out here, it's pretty cool. There is not really defined trails per se. You really have to kind of beat your way through the bush just a bit. But there is a number of birds that I'm hearing. Maybe I'll capture some of them on video coming up. But pretty peaceful. Right now I'm out here by myself. Nobody else. Actually, to get in here, there's just a dirt parking lot with only room for a few cars. So if you decide to come here, depending on when you come, it may be hard to find parking. But pretty cool. Definitely isolated. Definitely natural. I'd say that if there's been a lot of rain, you might want to think twice about coming out here because all of this might half be underwater. And with rushing water, might be a bit dangerous because it's already a bit slick as it is. There's still a little bit of ice left over from the storms we've had recently. So I guess I'd give that word of caution. I've got pretty good hiking boots on out here today. And I'd say those have saved my life out here because you really wouldn't want to be out here with bare feet at all because there's broken glass. It also kind of looks like this might be a bit of a party site sometimes. I've noticed some campfire set up and some broken bottles, things like that, graffiti on the rocks. So you might not want to come at night either. But otherwise, pretty cool. Hopefully you enjoy the video coming up. And as always, thanks for watching. The granite flats of this batholith formed about 300 million years ago, during the formation of the Appalachian Mountains. The batholith is 30 miles long and 15 miles wide. It was formed when a massive plume of molten rock rose through the Earth's crust but cooled and hardened miles before reaching the surface. Over millions of years, the softer soil and rock layers were stripped away by erosion. What's left is this granite pavement, which the little river runs over the top of. You can see a lot of these pool areas that are a result of the erosion. Many of these were still filled with ice, at least on the day I showed up. It was actually difficult to move from the granite over the water. There are trails like this one which move along the side of the river and off the granite. Probably the funnest part about this park was this process of trying to go across the rocks on the river, reaching a point where maybe you couldn't get all the way to where you could see there was a spot where it actually continued, and then having to look for one of these trails. And then the trails are along the sides. They don't always necessarily go in a straight path down the river. Now this trail here did luckily come back out onto the granitic flat rock. Actually a nice wide open area which we'll explore here in the next few minutes. That is actually the other really cool part about the Mitchell Mill area. It's really sort of a prehistoric step back in time walking across this flat rock. Now this trail here opens up to a really nice area where there's a shelf waterfall. The river is actually running pretty strong at this point. I read online that this area is actually sometimes hard to get to, and I could see that. If the little river was actually running real fast, it might actually be pretty hard to get to this area. So these plants are called Adam's needle. These three that you see here as I'm stopping. There are some other plants called elf orpine, smalls purslane, and some others which really like this granitic flat rock type environment. This next section of trail actually moves away from the river more towards the Mitchell Mill Road area. I did actually, for a pretty long period of time, try to find the mill remnants, the mill dam. At some points I was pretty close to it. I would have to have done quite a bit of bushwhacking. I didn't find any path to it. I don't know if that was from the recent storms that we've had. My guess is maybe if I'd come in and pulled over on the side of the road over there on Mitchell Mill, there might have been a way to get to those remains, but in any case, I did not get there, and maybe that's something that you can do yourself, and feel free to please make a video of that trip because I'd love to see it. This is pretty much the end at this point. I think we're going to do a bit of an extended outro. As always, I really appreciate you coming along with me on this trip. And please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get more from my channel.